Let's talk sinking funds. Hi everyone, welcome back to Budget of Oz. My name's Sarah, a disabled low-income budgeter, and today we're going to be talking sinking funds. So what are sinking funds? So sinking funds are basically categories where we can budget to put money away. Some would consider these savings, some would consider these categories for bills, some would consider these different things. I don't consider these bills or savings. I consider these future planning, basically. This is putting money aside for something I know I want money for later on, like Christmas, birthdays, family events, or something that I know is going to cost money later on. For example, I've got a birthday coming up and I know I want to go do something that might be a bit expensive. Well, I live on a low income, frugal income. I have disabilities. My ability to earn money is extremely limited. So I have to save up to be able to do anything extravagant at all. So for me, to be able to do that, I have to put a little bit away. So sinking funds is me putting that little bit away towards whatever my goal is. So I have sinking funds for my friends and my family, to spend time with them for their birthdays, for special occasions. I have sinking funds for, maintenance on the house or my car registration. I have sinking funds for myself, saving up for my 40th in 3 years so I can have a really great celebration, saving up for that big trip I would love to take one day, but also things like getting some new clothes or, I plan to keep studying, so education costs. And there's of course also emergency, having some money put aside for emergency. I don't consider these savings because the whole point of sinking funds is that you can take the money. You can take the money and spend it when you need it. You just take the money and it's there in those categories to be spent when needed. I don't consider this savings. Savings for me is money we're putting aside to grow, to make us more wealthy, to be able to put aside and to grow interest one day, to just build our nest egg. So for me, sinking funds are meant to be spent, whereas savings is meant to save a nest egg and get bigger. So that's how I see the differences, and it's typically how the community does see the differences. Now, sinking funds will be completely different for every person. Every person will have different sinking funds, and the way people use it will be very different. For me, my disability life binder, the sinking funds in here, some of these I pull from weekly, some of them I pull from annually, and some of them hopefully I don't have to pull from only every couple of years, but they're there and they get pulled from frequently. Whereas my high priority sinking funds have my insurance excesses and my emergency funds. Ideally, you don't have to pull from this. If you've been following along this year, you know I've had to pull from this twice. So it's good to have this and you pull from it when you need it. Whereas things along the line for my heart, my family, this is things like birthdays and baptisms and Christmas and all of these things for the people I care about. It's me putting money aside so I can spend time with them, so I can give them things and what I care about. You do not need a binder system like is common for like the influencers, and I don't like to call myself an influencer because I don't feel like I'm an influencer, but that is common. You do not need that. I use the cash envelope system and I use the cash stuffing system with the zero balance budget method because I find it works best for me. Putting that money into those envelopes gets it out of my account, means I'm not going to spend it, and I have it set aside in those categories. That works best for me. Other people can set up accounts online. Like in the CommBank, there's like the net bank accounts that don't have cards, and they can put the money away that way. If that works for you, fantastic. Highly recommend doing it. I am notorious for doing that and then transferring money over, so that doesn't work for me. This system works better for me, so this is the system I use. You do whatever system works for you. Pick whatever categories that work for you. My advice, review your budget for a year and see what consistently do you need money for. Not weekly or monthly like bills and everyday expenses, but things that kind of come up frequently over the year. Or birthdays and Christmas, they're annually, but other things that might come up once a year or once every 6 months that are recurring, so you can look at planning for those expenses, but also helping yourself know when they're coming, and especially if you're on a frugal, low income, budget and have the money ready. So I'm going to show you how I cash stuff my sinking funds and talk you through some of my categories. So as always, we have our cash. You can find the money management and the budget video on the cash stuffing playlist. I will attempt to link the card. First things first though, we're going to sort it. So some ASMR time for all my lovelies. Okay, now we'll give it a quick count. 51, 52, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. So $4.95 will be cash stuffing across all of my sinking funds today. Now, we did cash stuff my disabled life sinking funds. I think that video would be yesterday. I'll leave a link to, I think, cash stuffing tips. I think the video was to kind of show you tips for how I cash stuff. But now I'm going to go through and while I cash stuff my sinking funds, kind of explain the different categories and how I use them, as well as my binders and the way they look for me. I'm just going to double check that I have my trusty budget here, and I'm going to flick on over to make sure that I have the right thing that I'm looking for. and we're going to go through it. So first things first, I'm going to go to my sinking fund. So this was the original, my original sinking funds binder. It's getting a bit scrappy, but in here I have my emergency fund and my excesses. So for me, at the moment, I need to cash stuff 100. So 20, 30, 40. Let's try that again. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 into emergency fund to make sure we have enough. So now that makes 150 in emergency. And again, if you've been here, you know I have had to pull on this. So that's good. And then for the excesses, we're going to put 200, 51, 52. I need to cover the excesses. So that's being able to basically pay to start claims, or if I'm an at-fault claim. I need it to get back to 1,800 and I think 75 or 50 for car and house because I've had to pay both in a very short period of time. So 200, and you know what, 200 is better than nothing. So we will be building that back up as quickly as possible. That is the plan. Okay, so this is like my high priority sinking fund. So my emergency fund, and those excesses to have when the worst day should happen, and your car and your house, and you have to get the insurance claim started, which is what's happened to me recently, but that's okay. That's okay. That's why we have it, and that's why I have those sinking funds. I'm not going to be cash stuffing anything into my heart or my peoples, but I'm just going to flick through and show you. So a lot of these have been recently condensed and like bill swapped. I will try and leave another card for you up there if you're interested. But I'll talk through the categories. So Duke and Mira are my doggies. Holidays is pretty self-explanatory, and it's empty because I've done all my Christmas shopping. Birthdays, again, pretty self-explanatory. Then we have this one's family. I need to actually put a new label on it. And we will be doing a binder reset in a couple of days, so check that out, and you'll probably get to see me put some new vinyls on. And then, of course, friends. So these are like my people, my hearts, you know, everyone I care about. So that's pretty much, you know, the people and the dogs I care about, as well as different categories for them. And that's what I choose to have for my peoples, my hearts, the things I care about. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the home binder. So in here we have things like car, house, technology, home reno, Costco, repair buffer, and grocery buffer. The repair buffer is getting 35, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, no. So we'll be getting 20, 25, 30, 35. What's going on here with these amounts? Hold on. Let me just check. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay. So 20, 25, 30, 35. Not really sure what's going on. with those amounts, but either way, that's the repair buffer. Okay. Alright. Then we have self. So we have a few different categories: treat, weekend, wardrobe, education, which is getting 15. So 5, 10, 15. Okay. So that's that. We also have my 40th, as I said, I'm trying to save up for, and travel, again, pie in the sky dreams, but that's the whole point. And then we also have the business binder. Now, this is also a, for me, this is also a little bit of a new one. I haven't figured out my categories for this yet, but we will be figuring it out, and we will be setting this up with the binder reset. So stick around to see how that works. But it's getting the remainder of our money this month. So let's give that a count. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 135, 140, 145. So that's 145 is going into the business, as well as money that's already in there. Okay. So I hope this explanation and demonstration on sinking funds and how they work, and showing you how I have mine set up, was helpful for you to understand the system and how it works, as well as give you a chance to kind of explore creating your own sinking funds and jumping in and giving it a go. It's not that hard. Again, you don't need binders or cash envelopes to get this started. You don't need any of this. It's just simply deciding where you want to put your money and giving it a go and putting a little bit aside. This is the only way I've been able to make it work for me personally, and it works. It works, and that's all I can say. So, give it a go. Trust me. It'll help. Alright, for all those that have been here for a long time, you know what I'm going to say. Green heart in the comments down below. If you have any questions, please leave some comments down below. And as it is Savmas, leave some green Christmassy decorations down below. You can find me anywhere on the internet. I'm just at Budget of Oz everywhere. And I am so glad you're here. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.